We're going to be talking about you can have it all. You can have it all. It is not impossible. I remember reading this article. Oh, I guess now it's been a few years ago, and I think they quoted Madeleine Albright. And she said, women want to have it all, but they can't have it all. And I'm like, actually, you're wrong. And I wish I would have thought to grab all the stats out of that article because it was actually really interesting. And you might find yourself in some of these situations or statistics. So part of it was women who stayed at home thought that women who were working had it better. Women who were working thought women staying home would have back better. That kind of grass is always greener on the other side thing going was really coming through in this article. And as I sat and I read through a lot of the stats and what people were saying, what I realized is it's about you can have it all, but no one defined what it was. It's like we all have this idea of what it could be, but we actually don't know what it is. Right? We have these ideas that have been fed to us by family, society, school, media, whatever, about what having it all is. Without really, for most of us, without really ever having defined what it is for ourselves. We have this thing in society in general where we're always comparing to other people. I found that I did this a lot personally and definitely in my business. As I started to grow, I was like, well, why, this person and I start off at the same place. Why are they doing better? I never looked at someone who is not doing as well. I don't know why. But I always looked at someone that we were coming along together and all of a sudden they took off and I didn't. And yes, I was happy for them. And I was a little jealous. And it was like they were getting to have it all, but I wasn't. And I did that, like I said, I did the same thing in my life as well. I would look at people who maybe seem to, I don't know, have a better car, better house, kids better behaved, like whatever it is. Better sense of dress, I don't know. And I'd be like, oh, I wish. And then I realized at some point that I was chasing. I was chasing whatever the next thing was. Instead of really honing down to what is it that I actually want, regardless of what anyone else is doing, really looking at what I wanted. And was I getting that? So it took some soul searching to figure out what I wanted that wasn't actually being influenced by someone else in my life or someone I admired, someone in my family still speaking in my ear, those tapes that we run from our family from childhood. Really digging deep, and then even having to go further beyond and say, yeah, I know that you say it's not possible, but I want this thing and I feel it can be possible because I want it. So even moving past like limiting beliefs that others might put up, and my own limiting beliefs about what was possible. And I started to redefine it for myself. Because what I realized was there was no way for me to have it all, especially if I wasn't even defining what it was. I would just be constantly chasing the idea of it and never feeling satisfied, right? Feeling satisfied at all. Rather, as I started to define what it was for me, and it doesn't mean that your it won't change over time, right? We're constantly evolving and developing as human beings. We're constantly evolving and developing our businesses. So it's not that it may not change over time, but you still must, in order to like literally maintain sanity, you must define it for yourself. So once you define it for yourself, all those things, and for me, what I really love doing is, and I think it's somewhere in some post somewhere on my, I know it's on my Instagram feed, I think it's in my Facebook feed, but you know, it's somewhere. You can always hit me up. And I talk about 13 areas of life I always kind of work with my clients in. And not that we hit each of those 13 areas per se, it's that we hit the ones that we think are going to move the needle the fastest. Right? Because what I found is when you're fine-tuning one area of life, the other ones start to rise too. It starts to look more like the life that you want. So I know there's a lot of people who say, you know, fake it till you make it. And I do think there's something to that. But I know for a lot of people, it's very difficult to fake things. Right? It feels inauthentic. Right? And so what I typically do is say, look at these areas of your life. How, you know, when you imagine you're it, when you imagine having everything you want in life exactly the way you want, right? Close your eyes and imagine that. Which part of your life right now is the closest to that vision? Which area of your life mirrors that vision? So we kind of look at the top couple of areas that mirrors that, and the other ones, the lower ones, right? Kind of those extremes, because this is where we can start moving the needle. And we figure which one of those things can we change in such a way where we don't feel like we're being fake, where we're being inauthentic. And then those are the ones that we work with. Like, it sounds so simple, right? There's a little bit more to it, and I don't want to make it sound, to me it is very simple, but I don't want to say that's overly easy. Right? Conceptually, very simple. Implementing, not so easy, which is why you have a coach. Someone to help keep you accountable, and can see a path, help you see the path forward to your change, to your transformation. So we go on that journey together and make that transformation. And as those things are transforming, like I said, all of a sudden, all these other things are happening too. Things we never even talk about. You know, one of my first mentors was a money coach. And she said, how you do money is how you do everything. I'm like, that's really interesting. And what I started to realize is, okay, yes, how you do money is how you do everything. But then again, how you do relationships is also how you do everything. How you do self-care is also how you do everything, right? They all are interdependent. So as you change one and become better with that, better, whatever, you know, you define as better, the other areas of your life start to get better too. Right? It's that idea of expansion. You're expanding in one area. Therefore, the other areas have to expand too. Even though I think at times I've known people who said, you know, when things are going really well in my business, you know, let me know in the comments if this is, you know, you or someone you know. Right? You know, when things are going really well in my business, my relationship takes a hit. Right? All of a sudden I'm fighting with my kids, I'm fighting with my, you know, significant other. Like, there's just so much going on. I hate it. But then when I get those cleaned up, then my business goes in the toilet. So you're like, but Africa, you just said once things get better in one place, they get better in other places too. That's why I said simple, but not necessarily easy, right? So what I found, because I was in that camp too, right? What I found, and what I found as I've been working with other people, is that the reason for that dichotomy is it's like, in order to improve this one area, I'm totally negating another area. And that was what was the issue. You want to go ahead and make sure that instead of blocking out one or the other, especially the one that you're working on, so the relationship's going well, but you want your business to go better, or vice versa, that you're in flow with each of them, right? You have to be in flow with each. That's the secret, right? And that's the part that isn't so easy because it's a different way of doing things. We've been taught so long that we have to have single-minded focus, right? And I'm one of those people that's like, well, if you want to get something done, there's two frames of mind have been in my life. If you want to get it done, then you focus on that thing and you don't multitask, right? They've done studies where if you start to multitask, right, the third thing that you add just starts to brings down your productivity, efficiency, ability to not make mistakes, etc. Like you can multitask by like writing and doing laundry, right? Because you're, and when I start realizing like you can multitask by like writing and doing laundry, I was like, oh, I get the issue. That it's splitting focus, yes, but the reason you can write and do laundry is you stop writing and you go and move the clothes from the washer to the dryer. Start writing again. And I'm not even thinking about the laundry, right? It's the furthest thing from my mind when I'm writing. Then I hear the beep go off in the background, beep, beep, whatever, alerting me that it's time to do something with the laundry. I come to a logical conclusion with the writing, and then what happens? I'm not thinking necessarily about the writing anymore. I'm over there finishing up the next part of the laundry. And that's why you can multitask between the two and do so pretty efficiently. It's because you're in flow with one task, and then you're in flow with the other task. You don't have an open tab in the back of your brain trying to continue to work on laundry or continue to work on writing. You're in flow with each one. And therefore, both are done at a level of efficiency, mistake-free, etc. That couldn't necessarily be done if you didn't have flow in each at the appropriate time. So when I took that back and really looked at what was going on when people would have relationship, in the gutter, business doing well, or vice versa, is that all of a sudden they would be so hyper-focused on their relationship that even when it came time to be in doing stuff with their business, they weren't even thinking about their business, they're still thinking about their relationship. Can you relate? Even when they were, doing really well with their relationship and now they realize they need to focus on business, all of a sudden they were single-minded on business. Didn't think about their relationship at all, even when they were with those people that they loved and cared about. They were still thinking about business. There's a principle I used to teach when I used to teach college called Be Here Now. It's like, yes, there's stuff going on outside this classroom. Granted, there will always be stuff going outside of this classroom. But right now, you're right here. So let's be present in this moment. Let's come here and do what we said we're going to do. And that same thing applies to other places in life. You've got to be here and do what you say you're going to do, right? That's the huge deal. That's what makes it to where you can have it all. Being super present in the moment. Closing down those other tabs that are going on in other parts of your life, because they will always be there, right? We don't need to divert our attention on them when there's someone right in front of us. Whether this is, like I said, family, friends, kids, or business, or whatever community endeavors you're in, you need to be there with whomever is there in front of you. The present, I mean, it's so cliche, but the present is a present because we have our most power for impact and influence in the present. So I really encourage you to define what it is for you. And your it probably won't be my it. It won't be your friend's it. It won't be your relatives it. It's your it. What does having it all mean to you? What is your it without societal influence or family or whatever else is going on? Or pressures or limiting beliefs are coming in. What is it actually for you? So once you define that, then start to look how much of my life right now mirrors what I feel like my having it all life is. And look at the different areas of your life, right? I have 13 criteria. You can, like I said, grab them. I post it all the time. So look at those or come up with your own. I'm good. And then decide which parts of my life am I going to actually work on so it starts to mirror my having it all life. What it means to have it all. Just work on one at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself with massive change, okay? Work on one at a time. And as you work on this, you're going to find other things change too quite naturally, okay? And again, not hyper-focusing to negate everything else going on. But when you're focusing on that, focus on that. And when you're changing tracks, focus on whatever that is. Be present. Be in the moment. It's one of the best things you could do, other than what I said the other day, which is to spend 15 minutes out in nature every day. Will change your life. Those two things, right? I'm going to talk about all of these things and a whole lot more. My event is Soulful Reset, and this is really where we're helping you become the leader of your life, leader of your business. Using some of these techniques and more that I've shared and more that I didn't share. I've got all sorts of tips and tricks that I want to share with you during the event. We like to share, we like to have fun, and I would love to see you there. So click the link and claim your seat. It is a 3-day event. It is all day. We're going to have a lot of fun, and by the end of that, you're going to come out as the leader of your life and business. You're going to come out reclaiming your nights, weekends, and holidays. Or as I am doing, being really intentional about when I quote-unquote violate my own rules. I'm really intentional about when I make a decision to work a weekend or to work at night. Because I like to have that time with family, friends, myself, right? Big proponent, can't go from empty well. So if you have questions about the event or wondering, is it for me or whatever else might be popping up in your head, you can reach out to me in the comments or DM me. I'll be happy to answer your questions. All right, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget, you can have it all. You just got to define what it is for you. All right. Peace, joy, love to you.